Star Wars Rebels Episode 4, Fight or Flight. Or Episode 3, whatever you want to call this, because just if you want to count the pilot as one episode, you can, but on Disney Plus, it's listed as 2 parts, so this is listed as Episode 4, even though it's kind of just basically Episode 3. This is a terrible episode. So, after Zeb and Ezra getting so in a bunch of arguments over nothing because Chomper took the screws out of Ezra's bed and it falls on Zeb. They get in a fight, and Hera's like, you know what, I need you to go out on this mission, do a supply run, and get some Melu runs, which is a fruit that does not grow on the planet that they end up on, which I forgot what the planet's name is, but it doesn't really matter because Star Wars planets really don't mean that much. And this episode is terrible because the premise of this episode is that they go out to this planet to get fruit, a fruit called the Melu runs, whatever, and it doesn't grow. The planet's Lothal. That's the name of the planet. But anyways, he goes to steal this fruit, and finds out it doesn't grow on the planet, and so they have to steal it from the Empire, which is like, that's the stakes. They may not get a fruit. So they try to steal the fruit, it doesn't work out, so they end up in this whole scenario when they end up stealing a TIE fighter, and and they end up saving some friends of Ezra's parents, which we don't know how they're friends or what relation to his parents he has, because this is the season where they don't develop the characters and they give us crappy side missions like this. This is a terrible episode. There is no stakes. It's maybe they won't get the fruit. Wow, I feel so invested in the conflict that they may not get a fruit. And they still TIE fighter, which I believe that's an episode that comes back later. So that's nice, I guess. That's one good thing that this episode did. But I don't even remember if that actually happened. I might just be imagining things. But it's kind of hinted that that thing was going to come back at the end of this episode, because they, quote, crashed it on purpose so it wouldn't, end up in the hands of the Empire. So, yeah, I mean, there's no character development. You don't learn anything new. I guess these random characters whose houses get blown up. I mean, you could remove this whole part of them saving somebody out of the episode, and it would not change anything. It's boring. I mean, it's a fun... I guess you could argue if someone found this entertaining, I understand that, but, like, it's not to me because there's no stakes. The goal of this episode, again, is getting a fruit. And in the last episode, Kanan stated that he was going to start Ezra's Jedi training, and he didn't yet. At least it's implied that he didn't or did. I can't really tell because it's kind of implied that he did. But at the time, it's never stated that he did. You never see it. I believe you see it in the next episode, but it's like, why am I waiting until the next episode to see this kind of important detail? Why did they make this episode? I really don't understand it. Like, why did they make this episode? If they wanted to have episodes where the rebels go on a mission like this, don't make it about just that mission by itself. You could show the characters going out for food and things like that, but don't make that the goal. And if you want to make that way, kind of, there's better ways to do it than this. This is just awful. Because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't develop the characters. It's not, and it's just, it's a little kid show, adventure show type of episode. That's what this is. It's for little kids. But this isn't a little kid show because they don't They wouldn't bring back James Earl Jones in a little kid show to voice Darth Vader in the first episode. They wouldn't give you Jason Isaacs voicing an Inquisitor. Inquisitors were only introduced in comics and expanded lore books. They wouldn't give you Darth Maul and all these other characters from the Clone Wars TV show, which little kids growing at the time that this show was airing probably hadn't watched because it had ended several years ago. Yeah, again, this show is awful. So far, at least. I mean, we got one decent pilot, and then we got the rest of these horrible episodes this far. I mean, seriously. Nothing. There's nothing here. And this is most of season 1. It does get better by season 2, but we got a lot of crap to get through to get to season 1. The reason I've been reviewing Rebels more than Clone Wars is because Clone Wars, there is more to talk about. But Rebels is just an easier, simple show to get through. Like, I can turn on any episode and it moves a lot faster than a Clone Wars episode. It's less dramatic and things like that. There's this whole part in this episode where somebody's house blows up and you don't really see the impact or the expression on the person's face. That's not something that would happen to Clone Wars. There would be moments of silence. There's a lot of moments of silence and patience in Clone Wars. There's none of that in this show. And so, I mean, yeah, this show is easy to put on, but it's not as good. I don't know.